Abre los ojos para ver lo que
Everybody vamos, put up your manos. Members of time, Unidos, Chicanos, Latinos, and Los Estados Unidos. Don't care if you're Ricans or even Cubanos. Look at our coaches. We have more common, don't let them divide. These suckers are vultures. Either we standing together or better be standing aside. Now is the time, don't know about you, but I'm gonna ride. We gotta climb, fight for your Vegas, man, where was your pride? Where are the gunners that you got inside? Look how our ancestors came to this country. They try to be living the American dream. Don't throw it away. They promise you money and got your aging for the machine. Pick a new team, you flesh socialism, but that is the system that you wanna bring. You need to think, we gotta fight communism, cause it look like we on the brink. Connect on the links, the one party system is taking the power from all of the people. We need to think, when will you listen, these people are evil and won't see the sequel, so what is your plan? Hand in hand, we're standing together, cause it's the one never to do what you can. Please understand, we gotta do better, so walkers remember that we took a stand. Escúchame, 24 es el año, si se puede. Lucha, lucha por la libertad. Órale, vamos.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome back to Latino Free Minds. So on this episode, we have a guest, a candidate. So as we had said previously, we're going to have a lot of candidates on this next couple of months, which, we're very happy about. And, we're looking forward to talking to everyone, right? Because as we said, the best way for people to go vote is to be informed, right? And a lot of the time people don't get the opportunity to hear or speak to directly with a candidate. So, so that's why we set out on this goal to try to get as many candidates on. And, thankfully, we've gotten 11, scheduled. A lot of them are from most of them, all of them are from California, except one's from Missouri.
Wow.
So, the door's open. Anybody else wants to come on, you're more than welcome. But it's cool that, we're in California, so we got a lot of California candidates on. So, but, today, as you guys can see, we have Eric Ching on, who is a congressional candidate. So U.S. Congress, District 38, which I believe covers some of L.A. County. What is it? Does it Orange County as well, I think?
One city in Orange County, but mostly Latino cities.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you're on the right show. So Eric, how you doing, man?
Doing great, but I always like to start with thanking God for allowing me to be here, and thank you guys.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's the one that it's through him. I feel like we got all these candidates on, and we're able to, share all these candidates with as many people as possible. So,
Thank you.
Yeah. So, so running for Congress, right? What was the thing that I guess you could say motivated you or pushed you into saying, you know what, I have to be the one to run for Congress?
Well, to be in politics was never in my plan.
Mm-hmm.
But that happened, I say, about 12 years ago. 3 days before, this is not Congress, this is my, running career. So I'll just share a little bit. Over 12 years ago, my kids, went to local elementary school. Obviously, I care about our communities. Mm-hmm. And then 3 days before the following deadline, mayor actually came to me. He said, Eric, you should run for office. I was thinking, you're crazy. And then he actually tricked me to it. He said, well, Eric, since you don't know, you haven't decided, why not just go pull the papers? At that time, I'm just a volunteer, community volunteer. I like to help out here and there. That's it. Mm-hmm. So I went to pull the papers. To my surprise, that the binder is about 3 inches thick. I said, how am I going to fill out this thing? I don't even know how to do it. So he said, don't worry about it. I have a city secretary help you out with that. So I spent a few hours. I filled it out. So he said, well, since you filled it out, might as well turn it in. If you don't want to run it, you don't want to run, it's okay. So, okay, stupid me. I just turned in my papers. Very last day at 3 p.m.
Okay.
So thinking, okay, I done my part, and then I don't have to do much anything. And then the next day when I woke up, I'm one of 7 candidates. And then the mayor did not turn in his papers. I said, wow, I'm stuck. What am I going to do? So I better run very hard. So during that period of time, maybe 3, 4 months, I lost about maybe 25, 30 pounds because every day I will be walking. I want to find out what issues that we have. I want to visit every neighborhood. So every day I walk for miles and miles. And then come election day, I was behind by 50 votes. So
Mm.
obviously my opponent went and celebrated. But after a week, I overcame by 32 votes. So I won by 32 votes.
Wow.
First time. So fast forward to congressional candidate, race. Look at our country. We're not in a good place.
Hmm.
Look at crime, look at economy, look at education. Anywhere you touch, people are hurting. So I actually received sign, that I was in a war zone or something. I just, when I was praying at church, I received many signs. So I asked God, if this is what you want me to do, please give me a slogan. If you want me to go, further in politics, please let me know. So for weeks, he didn't talk to me. So I was praying for weeks. He didn't talk to me. And one day at church, I said, Lord, I don't have much time. If this is what you want me to do, please give me a slogan. Boom. Right away, he gave it to me. You first. That means I got to put him first, put people's interests first.
Hmm.
Think about this. Every single one of the elected, when they take office, what do they have to do? They have to put one hand on Bible, right? They have
Yeah.
to raise the other hand and so on. What do they have to make promise to three people. They have to make promise to God because they put their hand on the Bible, right?
Hmm.
They made promise to follow the Constitution to protect it, and they promised to people. And they also made promise to themselves. How many still keep that promise?
Hmm.
And for me, I take that very seriously. That's why I'm running for Congress, because I think with my local experience, I can help a few folks. I don't know how many folks I help. I
Hmm.
also run a nonprofit. The last few years, I was able to help a few thousand people, include many Latinos, many people, are suffering family, orphanage, a woman in need, you name it. When you are a victim, you often find that you have no help from public agencies. Just
Hmm.
think of this. Say your store or your house just got robbed. You have no money to pay for your next month's rent. What agencies can you file to get help? Can you name one for me? I couldn't find one.
They're
But
gonna
yeah,
be.
when the criminal gets caught, that criminal will give, just say, hey, the criminal say, hey, I need help. I don't have money. That criminal will get all kinds of representation. All the resources will go to that criminal and not the person who needs help. And
Hmm.
that's not right. So
Hmm.
that's why I'm running for Congress, because with my experience, I'm sure that I can make an impact and make a difference.
Yeah. No, I mean that's crazy because like kind of what we talk about here, and we've never talked before. This is the people are watching our first conversation ever. Uh, so people what we told people is like you got to show up, right? And you're a perfect example of that. How being down by 52 and then going up and winning by 32, that's not a lot. That's 80 people that decided to show up and make that difference. You know
Sure.
what I mean? Like if you look at it that way, and it's like a lot of the times you hear people kind of you know wave a white flag or say what's the point, right? And, an example as the one you just said is like that's the point. Because if you show up and you don't stay home and you don't just give up, you do your part, you might change it. Even if you win by one vote, guess what? It mattered, right? So,
Yes.
and that's the whole other thing too about what you described about, nothing around here looks like it's benefiting anybody, right? The people are suffering. And part of our if you call it our slogan is vote your reality. So that's what we're trying to tell people is if you look around your reality and it doesn't look the way you think it should, right? You don't feel safe, the economy's bad, the crime is up. Is that the reality you want to live in, or do you want to do something about it and make it so that hopefully someone like Eric gets in there and helps readjust your reality to what it should be, right? Everybody should be living in an area where they feel safe, where crime isn't going wild and all that good stuff. So it's funny because it's like it kind of ties into like the message we've been trying to give people, and again, it's like your story is an example of that, so which is pretty cool.
Well, I forgot to mention that I serve now currently as a council member in City of Walnut.
Okay.
During my service, we just got a crime report. Our crime's down 22%.
Good.
We have no pothole, no graffiti. We have beautiful park. We have number one, top 1% school, our school district. And then our finance, we have over 200% in reserve. That means we're very responsible for people. This is not our money. This is people's money,
Right. Right.
right? So if you have a responsible government, you can do it. But first the people have to vote the right people, right person in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Right. And just to emphasize what you said, Eric, you did say, I can't help everybody, but your job is to visually, well, help who's in reach, and if it is Latino, predominantly Latino families that are in need, then that's who, you're going to help out, and hitting the streets. That's not what a lot of people do. You got to spend your time there and really put your ear to the ground and hear what the people's needs are.
Surprisingly,
very honorable.
The last few years, I found out this. I have many, many Latino friends, and Latino and Chinese are very much alike. Because think about our parents, our family. We care about our families. We care about education. We care about hard work, and we care about being honest. Right? This is our value. Then there is no difference. And then what's hurting me is when you turn on TV, turn on social media, all this deception want to move away, and then I can see family being torn apart. How can you teach, your young ones not to go to church? How, teach them to change their sex when they're not even mature? How can you have them read those pornography in schools? I mean, these are all against our core values. Can you imagine a kid comes back, they don't call mom by mom or grandma? I love to see kids come back, hey, dad, mom. When they come back, they say, hey, birthing person. Hey, something like that. Can you imagine that? I mean, to me, it's crazy. Right? I mean, you see people come home, kids, little kids in Latino families, they come home, they like, hey, mom, I'm hungry. Dad, I'm back. So that's called respect. That's called family. And then we don't have that. That's why you see this craziness, in the streets, and then So I think we got to just bring back. It wasn't broken. If you look at all these leftist policies, every single one of them will lead to destruction and ripping our families, and then lead to no future. Think about, I'm not against people, they may have different opinions of LGBT, but if you think about it, if you just go promote that, you will have no future generations. If you promote kids, hey, you can go change your sex, that kid will never have biological the kid of his or her own. So if you just continue to push that, I mean, where does that lead to? That all leads to destruction. That's in my opinion. I think loving is I'm not for abortion, that's for sure. Because abortion, only one result is you're killing a life. You're killing a life. So I'm not shy about sharing my belief because, hey, this is who I am. But I can also tell you this. In the city that I serve, this is my third term as a council member. I have fulfilled 100% of my promises. As I laid out earlier, our city is very safe, very low crime, beautiful parks. We have money to, for future generations. And responsible government, it's only here to serve and protect, and no more. If you have certain ideology, yes, just this is a free country. You're free to do what you want, but don't push all of us and then rip out our family. I respect your freedom and your views, but you should respect others who want to have a peaceful, prosperous society, and that's it.
Yeah, definitely. It's I agree with that 100%. It's like I may not agree 100% with everybody's choices and what they do and whatnot, but also it's like I think the problem that we've had is like they're trying to make everyone bend the knee to them, and it's like that's not how it works, right? We're all free. and we got to be able to live with each other, right?
Sure.
And not make, it's like they're, how do you call it? It's a lot of demonizing everywhere, if you will. You know, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, this group's doing that wrong, this, and everybody just, it's division, right? And this is a country where, we've said before, it's pretty diverse. We get that. We understand that. But, the what you identify as, what you are or whatnot, it's like it has nothing to do with the policies that are getting put in place by our government that then make our lives harder. You know what I mean? So it's like, if the government is not being responsible, which that's what they've shown us, you know, recently, is they're not responsible with our money. They're taking advantage of us. They're using our money for things that a majority of people don't even agree with. And it sucks because, like, sometimes it feels like, oh, they will, what can we do, right? You kind of start, like, you kind of feel like your hands are tied. But when it comes to, that's why we focus on elections, because when it comes time, it's like, okay, that's where we can, you know boom, get people in there that hopefully put a stop to that.
I always believe that God's always on top, right? Then
Mhm.
there's some people, and then as a servant, such as you know people like me, we're at the bottom. We're supposed to serve you. We're supposed to serve the Lord. Well, how, what? I mean, I don't understand how one that got elected in Congress, and then all of a sudden they got so rich. How does that happen? How does that work? Right? They should make people rich. They should make people prosperous, safe, and all that.
Mhm.
And how come they're getting rich and then all the people are suffering? Government, don't produce anything. Government here is here to serve and protect. They're using our money.
Mhm.
So at least all of us could take a few minutes of our time when every election, just vote. Who you think it's the best representation. And
Mhm.
also, I want to emphasize this: I'm an Asian, right? So in many Asian cultures, they say, "Hey, okay, we will always vote for Asian." I disagree with that. It's the same thing with maybe Latino, or say, "Hey, we will vote for our own." No, you
Mhm.
choose whoever can best represent you.
Yeah.
Now, I will not support many of the Asian candidates that I know. They can be my friends, but we differ politically. But I will never choose them just to service, because look at the policy they're making. They're
Mhm.
hurting us.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. That's a, people get that, what do you call it? Like that identity, right? That pride. Oh, let's get, all these Latinos in there, or again, let's get all these Asians in there. And it's because, that's what you are, right? You want to feel, I guess, in a sense, maybe people want to feel like they're really represented, right? But that doesn't always work, right? You can see that in movies. You know what I mean? Every time they try to represent everybody, the movie doesn't do that good because they didn't focus on the product. They just try to make everybody happy without actually delivering anything good.
The way I see it is this: if you just date it all the way back, we all came from Adam and Eve from God, right? So
Mhm.
we're literally all family. So it doesn't. There is no different race or different. We're all the same. We're all same people.
Mhm.
Just be decent and do good work, and then that's it.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
it's like how I've told Daniel before, when it comes down to like my health, when I'm looking for a doctor, I'm not really looking to see if he looks like me or he sounds like me or
Yeah.
if he thinks and what. I don't care if he's Russian or if he's from the Congo. I just want the best. And if
Mhm.
it,
Sure.
if he's something that I give him to me, to open me up, doc. But other than that, the criteria is the best, and if you have to outsource that, I mean, you gotta go for it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And then now they're in our educational system, they want equality, right? That's a very dangerous policy, because you're not finding the best of the best. And then
Right.
I see recently airplane door just pop open because so and so didn't do a good job or something like that. I mean, I think it all has something to do with the policy they're making. I mean, they will put all our lives in danger.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Especially when you see it come down, that same situation goes down with airplane pilots,
but I
people that
can
operate cranes. That right.
guarantee you, when that door pop open, the airplane started to rock. They all knee down and say, "God help me, God help me." I promise most people will do that. So I want you to know that there is a God. So
Yeah.
when you're most vulnerable, when you need help, and then who would you call for? Without even thinking, you'll say, "God, please help me. God save me." Right? Just think about that.
This
Yeah.
is the last time, God. I swear.
I promise I'll be good after this.
That's right.
But no, that's a good point. Um, but you know, as far as Congress and all that, in your point of view, what's the biggest problem that Congress has that you see?
Well, I don't even know where to start. But I think serve and protect you because Congress they have the luxury to know many things that we don't know,
Mhm.
right? And then they for most part, I think some of them let the policy of their party get the best of them. So they're not voting because when you see 100% voting one way or 100% voting the other way, that to me it's not helping folks.
Mhm.
You're supposed to use your best judgment despite whatever party tells you to do, use your best judgment and then think about what's best for all folks,
Mhm.
right? So to me, I think it's once they get in the office, it's very hard to vote them out. So some of them gets comfortable, and then they will just push whatever leftist most craziest policies that they can make.
Yeah.
I've been to many meetings, political meetings, and then you can just imagine some of the craziest things that they discuss without even common sense. So I think Congress should come back and then think about what's good for people. Are they really serving us? And then I think we need to start, with that. But I think, national security also because we don't have the luxury to know, uh, what's important. But every policy they make will impact quite a few people. You're talking about 350 million people. Some will
Mhm.
may benefit and some they will hurt. What's the most benefit for all of us?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And that's the thing, to your point, is like I feel like a lot of people that get elected and they end up in Congress, it's like, yeah, they stick to party lines, right? So they become very partisan and they put the party over the people, just like you said. And I think one thing that a lot of them forget is that, yeah, they won their district for the, whatever party they were running under. Yeah, they won their district. But at the same time, it's like each representative has to remember you're representing both Democrats and Republicans in your county.
sure.
And you can't, it seems like they forget about half the population if it's not based on their party line.
Well,
I
I'm
do
not sure if you guys see Biden right now, or he's trying to make amends with both sides. After everything he said, alienating half of the country, for thinking one guy should be our candidate, our presidential candidate, and now he's trying
sure.
to amend all that.
So and also I want to share this because I've been to many I serve as a public servant for over 12 years now. So in my days, every time when we have meeting, we have a look through pages and pages of documents, right?
Hmm.
In Congress, that's even more documents. I don't know, if all of them will read through all that, or they would just say, "Hey, staff member, this is a policy I want to make. Go ahead and write this out." Hundreds of pages, if not thousands of pages. If they don't take the time to understand, what's important or to read through those, what kind of bill are they passing? Do they really know what they pass, or is it their staff members, or whatever, a lawyer somewhere who's actually in charge of a country and not the actual congressional member? Think about that,
Yeah.
right? And they're passing billions of dollars like nothing, like giving out cookies. That's not the money. Money doesn't belong to him. Money belongs to all of us.
Hmm.
And then somebody has to pay for it. The government don't make any money, so it has to be us or our future generations.
Hmm.
So I take that very seriously.
Yeah. No, and they all should. They all should
Sure.
because and that's the thing too. Sometimes it's like, you know, a lot of them have been in Congress or Senate or in government overall for way too long, to the point where, like you said earlier, it's like they're the only ones benefiting from it. They're becoming richer, and it's like they get out of touch with the people they're supposed to represent, and they only show up when they need the vote.
That's right.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's supposed to say that, but I like to say anyways. According to reports, my one of my opponent, who is a Latino,
Hmm.
her husband was found guilty of embezzlement based on reports of $800,000, some that kind of amount for what, for one vacation.
Nice. That was a nice
Can
vacation.
you imagine a vacation spent $800,000? He was found guilty, and
Too much.
that's one of my opponents.
Mm.
So, do you want that kind of a person to represent you?
No.
I mean, $800,000 can help many, many poor people, sick families, and things like that.
Hmm. Oh
What
yeah.
do you spend on yourself,
Yeah.
right?
They're only after they're helping themselves out, right, with our money.
Sure.
It's like that example. I believe the prosecutor in Georgia. Her name Fannie Willis.
Yeah.
Was her the prosecutor? I think she was giving him money or something, or they were going on dates and stuff like that. And then you have, I believe, someone else in Chicago or Missouri. I forget. What's her name? Bush. Is her name Bush? She's in Congress. I'm going blank on her name, but I think her last name's Bush. She was paying her husband, hundreds of thousands of dollars to be security, and he has no experience in
Oh,
security.
yes. Yeah, I heard
And
about that. Yeah.
so it's like, yeah, these people that here's my problem with the Democrat Party overall. This is my take on them. It's like they come out and they speak in a manner that where if you're not paying attention 100% and you just kind of hear what they say, it sounds nice, right? They're able to speak about, they make themselves seem to be the party of the people, and I think sometimes I use that terminology also. But it's like when they get into office, nothing happens, nothing changes. And I can use the Latino community as an example. It's like Latinos, for some weird reason, even though, like you explained earlier, culturally we're more conservative, but for some weird reason, and it's probably because of the Spanish media that is leaning to the left, anyways. We vote Democrat in big numbers, right? But I think that's changing. I think that's changing a
Yes.
lot this year. But before, it's like automatically just Democrat, right? Democrat. And you know, they've been running on the same issues since I can remember as a kid, right? Border, immigration, all that stuff, and nothing's been fixed. But they keep running on it, and it's the same people winning. So again, it's like they come out and they get people riled up, they get people emotional, and then once they're emotional, when they go vote, they've already controlled that decision. Boom, got you. I got your vote. And that's my problem with them. They don't deliver on anything they say. So I'd rather, right now, me and at this point in my life, it's like, okay, well, I'd rather try out you know the conservative Republican Party, and in a sense, it's like, you know, I have to do what I can to better myself. You know what I mean? I don't need to be reliant on anybody. I should be able to do what I need to do, and they're providing me with the freedom to do that. That's kind of how I gauge both parties right now in my mind.
Sure. You hit the nail right on the head because am I supposed to trust you? You've been there for 20 some years and then nothing ever gets fixed. So why should I trust you again, right?
Yeah.
Just like, when I was younger, if somebody, my dad or somebody say, hey, I promise you to take you to Disneyland or something, or hey, I promise you to take you to the park. If they, my dad broke the promise, I would say, hey, dad, you just broke your promise, right?
Yeah.
But it only takes one time. Yeah, next time you say something, I'm not gonna listen to you because So my dad, they don't break their promises. My
Mhm.
grandmom, family members, right? So what do you trust people that you don't know, and then suppose they will fix everything? No.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's one thing that you said you live in a county, right? That's heavily Latino. And then,
Yes.
one
Yeah.
thing that we like to talk about or just kind of bring up as a reminder is, you know, I'm imagining, or I'm just gonna assume there's probably a lot of DACA in your county. Just an
Mhm.
assumption. I'm assuming there's quite a few. Um, the thing that sometimes they don't know or they don't think about is at a certain point when Donald Trump was in office, he asked for, I believe it was 25 billion to finish the wall, right? In exchange for the 25 billion to finish the wall, he was going to work on an easier pathway to citizenship for those that were DACA, so that kids that were brought here
Sure.
when they were young age and they lived here all their life. So understandable, right? And the Democrats turned it down, so they weren't able to get or vote for $25 billion in exchange for DACA. But as you've seen this past year or so, or couple years, they voted on billions and billions and billions of dollars to go to Ukraine. And Ukraine has nothing to do with our day-to-day life, right? It doesn't improve anything on this end. So, I always try to remind Latinos or to keep that in mind. It's like, we had an opportunity. They didn't take it because, I guess Orange Man bad. But now they're sending all kinds of money everywhere else, and it does nothing for DACA, the people who, in a sense, they've had in their back pocket for so long. You know what I mean? Or Latinos in general, because it's like, oh yeah, they're gonna give us the citizenship, right? They're gonna help the kid get their papers here. And again, they vote, they get in power, and I haven't heard anything about DACA since the 2020 election.
Here's my take on this. If the government really want to help Latino or help people, right? Democrats had the House, they had the Senate. If they
Mhm.
really want to help people, they could have easily passed that,
Yes.
right? So you all got food.
Yep.
Now, because in our society we don't have this much, we have limited resources. But allowing millions and millions and millions of people come in without documentation, that's not only going to hurt our economy, that's going to bankrupt many of us. Let me just give you an example. When you have these millions of people, and we don't have a policy to help them, where do you expect these people to live? How are they going to eat?
Mm.
Where are their kids going to school? Tell me.
Mhm.
So you're pushing some of them to commit crimes. Because when you want to survive, you're in a survival mode. I've seen many times. When you're in a survival, when you have no food, no water, no shelter, what are you supposed to do? So to me, they're hurt. Many people will die too.
Mhm.
This is not compassion. This is to create chaos, not just for the existing, our communities, but also for all these folks who travel, hundreds of miles and about thousands of miles to come across the border, and then there's nothing for them. Think about it now. Cities are being bankrupt, right? You see bigger cities, New York, LA. You will see them. Because
Mhm.
these people, they're not just here for 1 month. If they're here to stay. So every week, every day, they need resources.
Mhm.
So where are the resource coming from? It comes all from all of us, right?
Mhm.
When you only have one pizza and you invite 100 of your friends to come eat that one piece of pizza, how many bites can you get? How about 1,000 people?
Yeah.
Right? This is chaos.
It's not
So
sustainable.
so
No,
yeah, open your eyes. Do not be fooled. If they really want to fix this, they would have fixed it a long time ago. Same thing with homelessness issues.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to share this. My friend and I, we wanted to help this homeless issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, homeless, they're largely because they may have some mental issues, they may have alcohol or drug addiction, or they may have financial issues, right? These are the bulk of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to help. So, do you know how long it took us to open the treatment center to help drug and alcohol addiction? It took us 2 years to open the center.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we had to go through a process of getting license and things like that. But we just want to help. Think about when you want to open that clinics, you have to pay 2 years of rent or buy a building for 2 years. You can't help anybody.
Mm.
I mean, if you change your policy, say, okay, we want treatment centers, we want this, but you can even write off your tax if you want to help people. Many people, I think, will open their wallet to help them.
Mm-hmm.
But if we have the bureaucracy, have this just all kinds of red tape.
Yes.
I mean, to me, government don't really want to solve anything. They want to create more chaos for their political gain. And then that's another reason why I'm running for Congress. Is I want to solve issues. I'm compassionate. I love those folks. I don't want to see them die in the desert. I don't want to see them, suffering in cold rain like this. Where are those homeless people going to go? Where are those migrants going to go?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially in this weather with all the rain, especially when
Sure.
I'm in bed, I'm thinking about, oh man, well, what do the homeless, where are they going to be at? What are they going to do, during these times? And it's just a shame, that all these, there's nothing that can, help them out.
This afternoon, I was driving, and then I saw a gentleman staying on the bridge. He was always shivering, and I feel so terrible. But there are many, many, tens of thousands of them. But they're coming in on a daily basis. So what are they going to do? What are they going to do?
And survive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you have kids, that's even worse.
Yeah. It's crazy though, because I looked it up the other day, and the number that I saw was that the state has spent $17.5 billion on homelessness, and the situation's just gotten worse. So, it's crazy. And like you said, right, you have people like yourself trying to do what you can to help, right, opening a center and all that, but then them making it that long of a process when you're trying to, help get these people off the street. Hopefully they get it together, they recover, and, boom, they get back on their feet. Like, no, I don't know. Somebody's just saving their job. It's job security at this point.
I want to share one more thing. I invite any one of your listeners, even the host, to come see my house. I already turned my house into a distribution center. I have food, I have clothing, I have blankets, I have pillows, I have shoes. I can't even park car in my garage. But I also invite you to visit congressional members' home or their office. See how nice it is. Come see my house. If you really want to help, just say, just do it. Do it. Yeah. Don't just make slogan and then everything's fine and dandy. Come see my house. You will see, whatever I say. I try my best, but I'm one man. I'm powerless, and that's what I thank God and thank my friends and I thank people who want to help. That donate us food, clothing, and all that resources. Mm-hmm. But hey, we're very limited in what we can do.
Yeah. No, Eric, and that that really does show that you are working for the people. Other people don't, and you can kind of see when who you work for. Are you working for? Okay, we vote you in, right? Now, who do you cater to? Do you cater to lobbyists that we didn't vote for? The insurance companies, are you implementing policies that help them in? Or, that's the kind of stuff, you're opening your home, your garage.
You want to see my arm? You want to see my arm? Because 2 weeks ago, I went to donate blood.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
At the City of Hope. Because if we can help people, why not help people?
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
that's that's true, man. And that's the thing, man. It's like, it's good to hear that, that you're doing that. And like you said, right? It's like, yeah, you're one person, but you know, that's why we kind of try to do things like this, and hopefully through this and what we do, what you do, the group just grows and it gets stronger and stronger. And then it
Yeah.
doesn't feel like, because sometimes it does feel like, oh man, you're in this by yourself. You know what I mean? It just, I think that's just human nature, right? You start to feel like, oh man, how are we gonna do this? But you know, once you find people that are in the fight, and they're in the fight for the right thing, you know, they have uh they have a purpose that's beyond themselves and their self interest. You know what I mean? It You see those people and it's like, yeah, those are the people. It's like, yeah, I want that person as a friend. I want to help that guy out as much as I can, or that person as much as I can. So I think that's why I kind of, stuff like this, right? It may seem small, but we've talked about it before too. Our other co-host Danny, it's like it's that ripple effect. Even if it only affects one person, even if one person's mind is changed, it's worth it. It's worth it
Yeah.
because
I wasn't always like this. I was into myself. I love to go fishing. I like to go outdoor. I like travel. But because, I suffered tragedy in my life. From 2017 July, uh, for 4.5 years, I have experienced 25 people pass away around me.
Mm,
I lost my wife, I lost my uncles, I lost many family members, my friends, you name it. And that's when I reconnect with the Lord, with Jesus Christ. And then He showed me how to love. He showed me that I have duty, I have work to do. And without Him, I don't think I will be doing this at all.
mhm,
Yeah. So for those of you without any experience, I just welcome you to invite you to just open your heart, open your mind. Just say, hey, I wanted to know more about you, Lord. I want to know what you can do, what you're about, and you will see the difference. You see the difference. Yes.
mm. Yeah, man. That's yeah. That I agree with that, man. It's like, you know we've talked about faith before on this podcast, and why it's important. You know, and we believe that also. It's like, if God isn't with us through this, or we're not putting Him in our thoughts and in our prayers, as far as like, you know, there's times I pray like, Lord, let somebody that needs to hear this podcast, let him hear it, whatever it is. Um, and again, it's like, even if it's one person whose heart it touches, and is able to kind of bring them around in both, in anything, right? Bring them closer to God, maybe open their eyes in certain subjects. It's like, hey, again, it's all worth it, because it's not just for us. It's like we're helping other people. We're hoping to help other people to kind of realize that right now, or in recent times, our government, our media, everything's been deceptive, right? There's a lot of things that we would consider evil that are getting a pass. So that's why, as overall, right, as people and as a country, we're moving too far away from God. And our goal is to get closer to Him, and in a sense, open more eyes.
May I share one story?
Yeah, yeah, go for it.
Yeah. One day, my pastor was on stage, and he was saying, "Hey, we have this young boy. He really needed to have some type of blood donation because he has this kind of this disease. So if those of you want to help, please go to the hospital and help him out." So the next day, I went to Children's Hospital in LA, and I
Mhm,
overheard a man next to me. He has never visited my church before. That was his first time. When he heard the pastor, he cried so much. He said, "Hey, I need to help this boy because the boy has this kind of rare disease. So the blood transfer the donation has to take 3 different visits. First time we have to test to see if our blood match.
Okay.
Second time was the second day that we have to get some kind of injection. And third day our blood will be drawn. So the man was talking about he may get fired because he cannot miss 3 days of work, but he was still there anyways, because he said that if he doesn't do it, he couldn't live with himself or something like that.
Mhm.
But my blood didn't match. His blood was a match. Think about that. Without God's love, who would risk your own comfort or your own job to help others? And only the power of Jesus Christ could do it. And then just aim into that, I would say.
Amen.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, as far as the other candidates in District 38, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right now the current representative is Linda Sanchez. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Is she running again? I would imagine she probably is.
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
All right. Um, do you know if like this is another issue I have, and I don't know how you feel about this too. It's you see a lot of these, you end up with your candidates, and a lot of the times they don't debate. The incumbent decides not to. I don't know if it's out of um just kind of feeling like they got it in the bag. I don't need to do anything. Um, but do you know if there's plans to hopefully get a debate in?
I last time during the last election, 2022 cycle, we did invite, but obviously it was turned down.
Mm.
So I'm welcome any organization, maybe yours. If you invite me, I'll come. I have no problem. But
Yeah, yeah.
also, what I think is they perhaps don't know how to defend their policies. So it's
Mhm.
best to dodge, right?
Yeah.
You can ask me any question you want. I'm here to debate. I'm here to share my point of view. You
Mhm.
know, my thoughts may not match everybody. I may not please everybody, but I'm doing my best. But I will not hide and lie to you. I'll let you know this is what I think.
Mhm.
So you choose whether to support me or not.
Yeah. No, that
I think that's policy.
I agree with that, and I think that's part of the reason they don't debate. It's like, how do you defend? How do you defend all? There's a record, right? You have a record every time you go
Sure,
vote. Whatever bill it is, there's a record of how you voted.
sure,
And you know, again, right now, recently, a lot of the stuff they've been voting for hasn't really helped anybody out. So how do you defend that? How do you
sure.
defend going to vote and knowing that you're really not helping anybody other than your party? So that's why I feel like, you know, when people are running for office, I don't care what position it is, I don't care how many candidates there should be a debate. People should be able to go up on stage or in a public forum and, like you said, defend their position or explain their position, right? Because that's the problem too with politics is you can have your opponent, you know, call you call you a racist, call you a sexist, call you a, all whatever whatever name they could throw at you, and just some people buy it, right? And again, like I said at the beginning of the episode, it's like, but they never hear directly from you. So, hopefully down the line, you guys are able to have a debate so that the people can hear directly, not just from you, but from both of you.
I
And
love
Right.
that.
you know, I think that should be a requirement for every election, every seat, everything, anything. You know what I mean? If you're
Yeah.
school board, city council, if someone's, challenging you, you should be able to accept
Because
that challenge.
Because Daniel, everybody's name looks good on a billboard with a certain font, with a couple stars and a couple colors on the side of the road,
Yeah.
But we do want to hear people debate. I think that people should be able to see who your candidates are, because in a debate you can make yourself look real foolish. Things come
Yeah,
to
yourself,
light.
yeah.
I hate DeSantis before everything, right? And no shame on or no rub on DeSantis or anything, but everybody thought that guy was the guy. Now look, it's Nikki Haley. right? A couple debates, and it's not DeSantis, right? So it's I agree. I think it should be mandatory. I think you should be able to see what makes your candidate tick if he can handle that type of pressure, right?
Yeah.
But I can also say this, if you hide from the debate, you won't be able to hide from your record. You won't be able to hide from God. You won't be able
Right,
to hide from your conscience.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah. 100%. That is, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
One
Um,
day you will have to face it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to answer, right? For again, you there's a record. There's a record.
Yes.
Once you're in there, you got to answer for everything. You have to know why, It's like when I could relate it to work, right? When I'm working with my team and they got a task to do and I don't think I'm pretty sure I don't micromanage, right? I let people do what they got to do because they have a responsibility. They got the position. It's like boom, you're gonna do it, right? That's what I believe. I believe you're gonna do what you're gonna do. And the thing too is like when something happens or something goes wrong or I have to ask a question like, hey, why this and this? It's like they have to be able to answer. Even at work, you got to answer as to why did you do this way, and this way. You might have a good reason, or you might have not been trained appropriately and you did it wrong. But you know what I mean? You still have to be able to answer to why you made the decisions you made. You know, our other hosts like to say everybody's a decision maker. Doesn't matter if you're the janitor or you're the CEO of the company. Everyone's a decision maker, and when you make a decision, it's always best to know, okay, why did I go this route? So that when you get asked a question about it, you're able to respond to it. I think you know, that's to me, that should be
Basic
basic. Yeah, basic
requirement.
responsibility someone should have. So, it's a lot of them. A lot of them haven't been held accountable, I think, to that standard for a long time either. And you know, unfortunately, a lot of them have gotten reelected for many cycles without even delivering anything. So I think a lot of them get to the point where they feel maybe they don't have to show for anything anymore. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get elected anyways. And I think that's part of the attitude too. And especially here in California, which, being realistic, it's like, yeah, a lot of Democrats usually get the wins because, a lot of it has to do with manipulation. But, they get it, right? They know who to target. But I think what we're trying to do, and I think what you're trying to do is show people that okay, they've said this for so long, you know, but look at the results. Look around, you know, and look at your paycheck, look at your grocery bill, look at your PG&E bill, you know, especially now these days it's so cold and rainy. It's like if I turn on my heater, I know next month my PG&E, the gas portion of that bill is going to be pretty high. But I also can't have a fireplace. So, you know what I mean? It,
Yeah.
it
But
just
also watch out because when you don't look, who's coming behind to rob you, and they
that
can walk away with it. No charge.
mhm.
How crazy is this?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, kind of because we're coming up on an hour. So before we finish up, just if you can deliver one message to your county as far as like, you know, why they should vote for Eric, what would you tell them? What would be your message to them?
Yes, I would urge you to check out my records. I have fulfilled 100% of my promises. Look at the city I serve. We have low crime, great economy, great neighborhood, top 1% school. And then this is what we are about: serve and protect, and that's it. So if you think I can do the job, please vote for me. And I will promise I will work very hard for you because you're my boss. I'm not your boss. You're my boss. I'm here to serve and protect. So it only takes a few minutes. If you don't spend that few minutes to vote, and that's your right, and then that's a privilege to be able to vote. Some countries you can even vote. So do your part and tell all your friends, share your thoughts, and do a little bit of homework to find out what we're about. So just don't, be fooled by career politicians. I can tell you, I will be more comfortable go fishing or retire somewhere. But the reason I want to do this is because God has inspired me. I want to help people. Come visit my house. You will see for real. So
Mhm.
just look at me. You can see me face to face. You're welcome to call me. You're welcome to come to my city. Look for yourself
Mhm.
and look at the current congressional member and check her background to see if her husband did really spend $800,000 for one vacation.
Did
Eric,
she?
You
that
Did
can
she
was
just
go?
Google it right now.
Did she go?
Yeah,
that was one of the most gangsters things I've heard in a bit. Check my record. There's no
yeah.
skeletons.
Please do check
There's
my
no
record. I
yeah.
want you to check my record.
Hit him. Yeah.
That's
Yes,
that's dope, man. Well,
yeah.
Eric, it was great having you on. Based on the, and this is my opinion, and I can let Christian give his afterwards, but based on the conversation that we had, and like I said earlier, it's like this is the first time we ever talked. I've never talked to you before this date in my life. The only interaction we had was kind of setting this up, but as far as asking you about any of this, it's the first time we talked about it, and the vibe that I get, or what I sense out of you is, you're really out there trying to help people, you know, and I believe you're in it for the right reasons, you know. Um, that's the feeling that I get, that you want to help. You see people suffering, and you see people going through hard times, and you want to do what you can to help, others. You put emphasis and focus on other people other than yourself, and that just goes to show that the type of person that you are. And I'm glad you came on the show and we had this conversation. I'm glad that you are running for Congress, because we need more people like you that are more interested in helping the people than their party. And I just want to say thank you for coming on. And like I said, I don't know if Christian wants to say his piece, but you know I respect you, man.
No, yeah. No, yeah. I mean, again, man, I can't. What I can emphasize, what I've heard from you is you're for the people, and that it shows in what you do, and a man of God, and there's only so many of us. There's so many of you left, So thank you, Eric.
But like I say, don't take my word. Check me out.
Yee,
Mhm.
Research and find out
yee,
Yeah,
for yourself.
slide.
exactly.
Yes, find out. You
Exactly.
can Google easily, and then you find out
Find
my
out. Find
and
out.
find out who they are and what they're about.
I'm a Google what can I do in a $800,000 vacation. That's
I,
that's wild.
I know what they did with that $800,000 vacation. Yeah,
What they do?
they went to see Kentucky Derby.
Oh, okay.
They
They've
I
been
think
in
they
a
they
couple horses.
charter a private jet.
Nice.
And it's pretty luxurious to say the
They,
least.
they got all dressed up too, right?
I don't know.
Right?
Yeah,
Kentucky Derby, they got those nice, you know, suits and hats. I think the women, right, wear the hats there and all that.
Did
yeah.
he get to ride the horse or what the heck?
I don't know. It's a one luxurious vacation, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I would have probably gone somewhere else with 800 grand, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you guys have potholes,
there you go.
know why.
Hey, we don't have any. Come to my city, drive around. You will not find one pothole.
Oh, there's
There
too
you
much
go.
then. There's too much
Yeah,
surplus. That's why he's that's why he's cutting it
yeah.
out.
But it goes to show that's how the government, or those in the government, should be working on your behalf. Is you're already taking all my my tax money, use it to when I go outside, the parks are nice, the streets are nice. There's not, like I said, graffiti everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just I can see that my money is going somewhere and it's benefiting the community where I'm living. My reality looks fantastic. But
Yeah.
you unfortunately, that's not the case everywhere, right? So, hopefully, again, more and more people like you, end up in representing people, and making these better decisions for us, and like we said before, making people's reality a little nicer.
Check his
I will be very
record. Check
honored
his
to serve.
city. Check him out.
City of Walnut.
There
Welcome to
you,
come.
Walnut.
Yeah,
go.
Check
So,
the
City of
receipts.
Walnut.
yeah, don't say
You
you
can
didn't get
you
the
can do
invite.
Google research on City of Walnut as well.
Yeah.
Sounds good, man. Well, Eric,
So
oh, were you gonna say something?
I just want to thank God again for allowing me to say this, and then thank both of you, and then whoever that listen to this.
Mhm.
Just we gotta just sit back and then think about what's important, what's our in our future. So
Yeah,
thank you again. I will be
yeah,
very honored to serve.
yeah. Yes. Thank you, Eric, and thank you for coming
Thank
on
you.
for your time, man. We appreciate it.
Have a great night.
All right, we'll see you next time, Eric.
Yes.
Thank you, Ned.
Cool. Well, that was pretty good. He
Solid
seems like a
candidate.
solid guy. Yeah.
I wish he
You
was
know.
running out here.
Yeah, man. Uh, no, I mean, like I told him, it's like it really seems like he's in it for the right reasons. Um, you know, and it's hard to kind of you don't really get that kind of vibe from everybody, right? Everybody that's running, and everyone's got their own personal interests, and it seems like he's trying to do the right thing. He really
Yeah.
is.
And
So
something noticeable is he right away God first. And you can always kind of see the difference between somebody who has God in their heart first and more of a secular way of
yeah.
going about things. But
House party. I just saw that. I would have told him that. I'd say Matt said he's going over. But now, man, he seemed like a great guy, and hopefully with the primaries over here in California, what is it, March 5th, a month from now? Hopefully people do show up. Hopefully they show up, and he's able to get on the ballot for November, and then beyond that, you know, get
I mean,
into Congress.
that'd be a pretty cool thing to boast about now. 11 of our candidates, 11 out of 11.
Ah, shit. Be like
From
Trump.
Missouri to California.
Put out a tweet on November 5th. We're 11 for 11. No, dude. Hopefully we get more. Hopefully we get more of a mix throughout the country. So that's kind of that'd be cool. So if you guys know of any candidates around your areas, whoever's listening to this, you know, shoot us a DM, Latino Free Minds on Instagram. We'll see it there, or if you want, you can join the Discord. That link is on the Rumble chat. So, you know, you get in contact with us, but we're trying to do what we can. It's just us, right? Like you said in the last episode, we're not a major media company. We don't got billions of dollars to
I
to
want.
advertise these conversations, but you know,
Right.
we're doing what we can, right? With what we got. And like Danny said in the last episode, it's like, dude, you just got to do something, you know. So yeah, man. Other than that, it's pretty good show. I liked him.
Yeah.
I did. I thought he was good. So
Yeah.
we'll be back Thursday. Thursday.
Sounds good.
We'll be back Thursday with it's Natasha Serrano, and it's California State Assembly District. I want to say 56 off the top of my head. Um, let's see real quick. Yeah, District 56. So on Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Natasha Serrano, candidate for California State Assembly, District 56. And then after that, we'll be back next week, Monday, with Alex Villanueva, who's a candidate for county supervisor in Los Angeles, District 4. He used to be the sheriff of LA County. So I think during COVID, like they would show him a lot. I think he wasn't being that crazy with the
Mm.
what do you call it, the lockdown. And then Tuesday, we got Peter Hernandez, U.S. Congress candidate, District 18. So a busy next week. So, busy next couple months with the candidates that we have on, that we're gonna have on. So, again, as long as that one person hears it that needs to hear it, that's all that matters. Cool. But you got anything else?
I don't want to ruin it. I haven't said anything bad this whole let it ride, Eric. Tarnish nothing, dude. You were so hot. You did good, man. That was awesome, dude. That was cool. That was cool listening to that guy talk.
Yeah, for sure. So, Eric Ching, thanks for coming on. Um, U.S.
Walnut.
Congress candidate, Walnut, California, District 38. Let's do what we can to. He's a good guy. Let's get him in there.
Yep.
And yeah, that's it. Everybody that tuned in, thank you. Appreciate it. Hit the like button, share, yada yada. Join the Discord, all that good stuff. You know what to do. Do I have to say it?
Hillary's a bitch. There, I said
it. Everybody says it. Come on now. But no, for real. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and peace be with you.